Hey guys, Wages World coming at you. We've got a G4 storm, severe solar storm hitting now. This was not forecasted to do this. This was forecasted to, well, it was kind of all over the place. G3, G4. We're seeing Aurora in over 30 states. And I've got some pictures to show you from some Aurora with a Big Dipper from last night from Ilea. Her own camera. She got this one, and it's awesome. Just to let you know. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Now, listen up, guys. Over 30 states. Oh, sorry. Some, pictures to show you from some Aurora with a. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I got my phone on over here too, so we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. But guys, please share this one out. This is something, you know, if we're ever going to share stuff out, it needs to be stuff like this. This is really what people want to know, especially when we get things that are unexpected, like what we're seeing now. And I don't want to blow this out of proportion either, but this is very big space weather news, okay? When a solar storm overachieves or becomes stronger than what we had expected, this is actually happening. Kind of in the same time frame we kind of expected, but it didn't. The way we were seeing things, these CMEs that were coming at us must have been in such a staged manner that they're hitting a little different than what we expected. And the reason I say that is because of the strength of the storm. And you know, when you're getting a train of CMEs coming at you, you know what happens there, right? Did we get a 5 for 5 in there? I didn't even look. I hope you guys got me in there. Somebody give me a 5 for 5 real quick. I'm going to keep moving on so we can kind of stay on track here. But what you guys are looking at here, this is a Geoelectric model. And what this is, it's the geoelectric field at the surface. Now this is here, they put this model together. We're working with the Canadian agency and the USGS here. To try to bridge a gap between space weather and forecasting seismic activity. And because we know space weather has an effect on that. So what they're looking at is geoelectric field, not geomagnetic, but they do affect one another immediately and almost every time. So when we see one or the other react, we take a look at both. And as you can see here, this is definitely elevated in a way that, you know, it's not like, oh my gosh, run for the hills, that kind of a thing. No, it's not that. But this is very, very elevated. And, you know, I'm not really sure how long all this is going to last. I do think we've already dropped down back to a G3, but that is typical. We will bounce back and forth. And we've already been seeing that as as I talk to you right now. I've been watching this. And I was going to wait till a little bit. I was going to do one really early, but we were at like a G3, a G2, I think, at that time. And I was like, you know what, let's just wait because a G2, you know, yeah, we'll report that if that's as big as it gets. There's not a need for me to jump out here. But there's really not a need for me to jump out here right this second, other than the fact that, you know, this is stronger. And I want people to be aware because we're seeing Aurora in over 30 states. Further south, I actually talked about this last night, guys. I told you guys, I said it looked to me like we should at least be saying G3. And the reason I said that was because of what we see. Now, again, there's a whole lot of theories what's going on with that. Why are we seeing more severe storms with activity that would have typically in the past not really done that? I'm not so sure where to go with that, just to be honest, because there is so many things that could be happening. There are so many variables that come to play. And I know, you know, and again, this is why I nowcast. I don't even like truly giving my opinion on this one because it starts arguments. And at the end of the day, for what I'm doing, it doesn't matter. Because I nowcast to you guys. Now, I can give you my opinion, and I will. I do think that this has something to do, and I've said this about the Aurora model, right? That our magnetic field is weakening. I mean, that's just a fact. Now, is that what's causing us to see these things? I can't land on that 100%. I can't. So what I'm saying is, I keep my mind open. I listen to everybody, and as things happen, I just try to understand what's going on. And right now, we're in a severe storm that might not should have been severe. I don't know. Um, Again, it wasn't forecasted. They have been changing their forecast often today. That's what I'll say, and that's not out of the ordinary either for a storm like this. When you get CMEs that train together like this did, here I'll show it to you. Okay, when you get all these CMEs coming right at you like this, it becomes very, very difficult, because if one of these CMEs isn't doing what they think it's going to do, it's going to affect the rest of them. And that's probably what's happening. And it kind of looks to me like we may have had something like a 2 or 3 of them kind of really cannibalized, really close to one another, and it basically gave us one big gigantic hit. But, and the reason I say that is because over here, well, let's do this first. This is the geomagnetic activity. The KP index is how we measure these things, right? So let me say this. A KP of 5 is the lowest level geomagnetic storm. Right now, we're at a KP of 8. So what that means is we are in that level right there, G4. It only goes to G5. So keep that in mind, okay, as we continue to talk here. Now, I would also say this, that just because it stops at G5 doesn't mean it can't get stronger than what technically a G6 type of, if they were to plot that like that. Yes, it can get that strong. Okay, they just don't do it because it doesn't happen, often at all, if ever. Because typically you start talking about levels way up here, then we're talking about some really big stuff. Okay, if you're talking like a something where they could plot it as a G6, even though that doesn't even exist, in a G7 maybe, those kinds of things, when you consider those ideas, those are those events that we talk about where, hey, fire the generators up. Okay, because those are the bigger ones. Now, we can get to a G5, and I'm not, I don't even know where the ceiling is for a G5, to be honest with you. I don't know that they have it out there. They could. I just don't know. I'm not aware if there's a G6 somewhere and how to measure it. But anyway, you can see how this ticked up, right? I showed you guys this last night. We were at G1 storm. I said, hey, this really isn't that big of a deal. Got to G2. Still really wasn't that big of a deal. And it looked like things were going to kind of level off right there. But there was something more in store for us. So let me show you what I'm talking about. But before I do that, I do want to show you the HP. This is really, for all essential purposes, the same indice. This is an HP. It's the same type of measurement indice that we're using, but this is a 30-minute increment. 30-minute data plots. These over here are 3-hour averages. So we get to see more real time here, and we can kind of look inside of those 3 hours and see what happened to have them average out to an 8. Okay? So that's the advantage of this. As you can see, we went up here and we got into G3 level, and we started to tick down, right? I think I might have talked about that last night. I think we might have seen this right here before. Yeah, I think this is where I stopped because we were kind of here when I got off stream. So this happened after I got off stream. And we went to a G3 and I thought, wow, that's pretty quick like here. We wasn't even forecasted for that. And then we just stayed there. And I was like, wow, it's really sustaining that. And then you get this drop right here in the middle. I mean, it goes like from a G3 level to, almost just a G1, like immediately. And a lot of times when that's happening is we've gotten past the big brunt of things, and things are starting to flush out the back because of the wind speed itself. Okay? But that ain't what happened here. We dropped in, but looks like what happened here is we were in between two different CMEs, and we dropped down, and then all of a sudden we got hit again. And this one, because of we were already here instead of down here like they were forecasting with the G2. That's why this went up here. Because this is exactly what we're seeing. Right now, it looks as though we're down to a G... That G1? Yeah. Right now, the last 30-minute data point is a G1. So are we going to go back up? I don't know. All I can tell you is we got really close, guys, to a G5 right there. That's what I'm trying to point out here. This was not something that was expected at all. Not this strength. Not even close. Okay? So I just want you guys to understand that. Now, with that being said, is it something catastrophic? No, this is not catastrophic. I'm not saying that at all. Hopefully you guys aren't picking that up because that's not what I'm saying. But what I will show you here, this is the magnetopause, right? This is the Australian model, and I'm using this one on purpose because it's simple to understand. This is our bow shock. Space weather is coming from left to right from the sun. It hits our bow shock, which, well, it creates the bow shock, I guess is probably better. We got space weather that hits our magnetic field. That point of contact is called the bow shock. That first point of contact. So when it gets compressed, we get compression and rapid expansion. I talked about that last night. I'm not going to do that today. But this actually got pushed back real close to our satellite line. Okay, so watch what happens here. I'll run this again. And you see how close it's getting? So what happens is, if that gets inside of that, it exposes our satellites to direct space weather. And that could be bad for the satellites. You're throwing a whole bunch of extra density in here. At the same time, you're throwing a bunch of high charged particles, which is what's causing the increased density itself, but the charge itself can cause issues too. So what I'm saying here is that when you got more density hanging around these satellites, it's like they went from going through water to going through sand, if you know what I'm saying. It's causing drag. So what it does is it tries to slow them down because of friction. So they have to like steer these satellites and make sure that they stay up there in the proper position. And that's a normal thing. So, but I wanted you guys to have an understanding of why they talk about that. Now, this is our magnetosphere here on a different model. This is the NOAA model, and this is very, very visual, and it gives us very, very intense visual representation of what's going on. Okay, as you can see up here, this is the velocity. This is speed. Now you're seeing that that's definitely an increase. The darker reds are the fastest particles here, and the darker blues are the same. They're just moving in opposite directions because we're talking about polarity here, negative and positive. So that's representing what direction those particles are moving. Now when we get these little wraparound things, those are reconnections. We get hit in the front, those particles get into our magnetosphere, and then magnetics take over again, and it'll draw those particles right back. Okay, so that's what's happening there. We do get like cosmic rays and stuff from behind us, but typically what we normally see on these models is exactly what I said. Because you can see us get hit in the front first almost every time, and then shortly thereafter you'll see a little hook kind of signature, and it'll pop back over, and we're just reconnecting is all that is. Okay, now this is density. So yeah, it's just showing you a lot of dense material. Now listen, it stops right here on this color. So if things are more dense than that, we can't see it here on this model. So I would point that out because it can be more dense than what they have here. All right, it's just typically that they don't have to go any further than that, and probably didn't think that they really needed to. So when we get above that during bigger events, it can't really represent exactly how dense the material is, which is why you have to go look at the data. Okay, that's why the boring graphs are important. Okay, now this is the magnetic pressure. Now I want you guys to look at this. You see how we're kind of angled this way, right? This is north-south, okay? See the numbers here? Negative 10, 10, 20, 30, negative 10, negative 20, negative 30. You see that? It says Z, right? What's that representing? That's the z-axis, right? BZ. BZ, you hear me? BZ, I say it all the time. So when it's pointing to the south, this is what I'm talking about. Okay? So understand that. Notice kind of where it's pointing. So it's already negative. We know it's -6 or more because I've already looked. But let's see here. Where can I take you to? Right here. Okay? This is Discover. Now look how far south it went. -20. That's significant, guys. And it hasn't been above -6 for oh gosh, multiple hours, almost all day. This is a 1-day plot here, so almost 24 hours. I mean, we got some, some areas here where it wasn't, and I talked about these last night. But shortly after I got off stream last night, we went into -6, and it just kept doing it. So yeah. Now look at this, guys. You see that? That says G3 latest reading. See, this is what I was talking about. And what I mean is, let me go back to the HP. This next reading, it may be up here again. We'll have to wait and see. And it may happen before we get off stream. It may not. So I would just say that. Hey, Cat, good to see you. Ain't seen you in a minute. Guys, could you guys give me a roll call in there if you would? Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what's going on. And just kind of a general area. And guys, if you seen Aurora last night, let us know that too. I'm getting ready to show you a picture from Ilea that's completely awesome. So, and if we go over here to, I want to go over here to Dr. Tony Phillips' page real quick. This is something he got sent to him. Who's that photograph from? Who's that? Sorry, guys. It's a scam call. Anyway, yeah. We love them things, don't we? Anyway, this says Halftek. That's the person's last name. Halftek. Was it? Yeah. Reports. I don't even know how to say that name, guys. I'm not even going to try. I'll butcher it. But it's from Minnesota. Okay? But look what's going on here. It was spotted in more than 30 U.S. states. That's significant. That means it got further down south than what they initially expected. Okay? Also, this is the near-Earth objects. I showed you guys that last night. These are the fireball reports. This is very, very elevated because of we're going through the Perseid meteor shower. This is expected, guys, so don't freak out over it. Okay? So, yeah, right before I went on stream, I kind of checked this out, and he hadn't updated his quite yet. It said G3, so yeah, he's on top of it too, like he normally is. Dr. Tony Phillips does a really good job over here, guys. So please come give this web page some traffic. That's how he pays his bills, guys. So he did the work. Give him the traffic. I don't want to read the articles, and that's why I don't. I would love to be able just to read them verbatim because I think they're great. But I don't do that out of respect for him and his work. Okay? So with that being said, check this out. Now, this is from Northern California. Our great moderator and my sister Mod, is Ilea, and she caught this one. Now, I know the resolution isn't the greatest because I downloaded it from a text. I'll probably have her, if she could, send it to me through an email of some sort so I can download better quality of it. But what I'm going to do here, I want to show you what's special about this one. Because this is actually a pretty special pic here. And as I back that off, I'm doing that on purpose. Because the resolution looks better, and you're going to see what I'm getting ready to talk about. Look at this. You know what that is? That's the Big Dipper, guys. She got the Big Dipper dipping right up into that Aurora. That's an awesome photograph. That's all I can say. There is no other words for that. That's just completely awesome. When she sent that to me and I seen the Big Dipper sitting there, I was just floored. It was an awesome job. So, okay, thank you. If you would, Ilea, I'll show it next stream. So yeah, it's such a great job, and being on your toes with something like that. And I know you like to look at that stuff anyway. We've talked about that a lot, you know. So thank you for sending that over to me. It's great. Thank you for letting me show it to people too. So this is just freaking awesome. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to take you guys to the Aurora forecast right here, this model right here. And I can show you the bigger one like I did last night. And I probably will on my next stream when I update you guys tonight. But what we're going to do, you see how it started off here just like nothing? And that's typical. That's what we see, right? But last night, I seen this uptick during stream. And I think it was Stephanie Munoz was asking me if she was going to see it up here in either Minnesota or Montana. I can't remember which state she was talking about. But I said, yeah, you got a good chance of getting that. But I had no idea it was going to do this. Okay? Now, here's the thing. During the G4 part so far, the Aurora has been over here, guys. It's daytime where we're at. So, what's going to happen for us to get that massive, like, really far south Aurora to be reported in our hemisphere is for that storming condition to continue. And I'm not saying it's not, and I'm not saying it's going to, right? I simply just don't know yet. Only thing I can do is tell you what the forecast is and show you what's been going on. So, and I would say this too. You know, this doesn't really look a whole lot like what they like map out for us. Here, you know what? I'll just go to that. Give me 1 second. I should have done that anyway. I'm sorry. There's an Aurora dashboard, okay? So, if I show you this is the forecast, right? KP is 6. Well, we obliterated that. So I look for this forecast here to change, number 1. Number 2, if you come down here and you look, for a KP of 8, it would have to look somewhere in between this and this. Right here in the middle. But it looks like that. And it's puzzling to me why it does that. You know, and I know it's not an exact science here. You know, we're talking about the Aurora oval. I mean, we're not talking about something that's specifically has to be a specific size. It's not like that at all. So what I'm saying is that even though we're at a G4, we may not get Aurora that is, you know, representing true G4 storming, because it just doesn't look like it got too far south. Now, if these storm conditions continue, I do look for that to change. It's like I said before, guys, Aurora is one of the main indicators that we're getting real geomagnetic activity. And as you can see, it seems like it's hanging on here. So that's kind of indicating to me that we're going to hang out at least at some significant storm level for a minute. Now, looking at the HP again, like I said, we get this 30-minute increment, right? It dropped down, but it dropped down here too, guys. Okay? So it doesn't mean it's going to stay there. That's my point. Okay? So yeah. Okay. Now, there's not a whole lot to show you other than what I just did. Okay? That's all I'm going to talk about today is this geomagnetic storm. I'm not going to get too much more into anything else right now. But if you guys got some questions, fire them in there at me real quick, and we'll see if we can't help you understand them. But, guys, I'm going to give another update later on today. Okay? I may even do a members-only stream. I'm most likely going to put it to tomorrow because of what's happening right now. That way we can all come together, the members, and watch some Zoom court and have some fun. That's what we're going to do on our next member stream. I've gotten permission from a couple of the Zoom court channels to show some of the stuff that they have on their channels. And we watched one of them. We got a lawyer here too also. It's part of the Kool-aid Krew. She was a lawyer for over 20 years and was actually, I think she said she was getting ready to be a judge, and I think she decided to retire or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Her name's Becky, but she was in the last members only stream. So she will be able to give us some insight on what's going on. And they're really, really interesting. And I'm going to try to keep it fun, because there are fun court proceedings out there. Okay? But there's also serious ones, and we can watch a few of those. but they're not going to be like 3-hour like trial type of stuff. It's going to be 15, 20-minute stuff. Okay, kind of normal docket things. And we had a really good time doing it last time, and I exposed you guys to something new. A lot of you guys wasn't even aware that they do Zoom court now because of COV19. It started all that, and they never moved away from it. They do it all the time. It's offered to a lot of cases because it keeps people from being in contempt for not showing up. They can just simply get on a Zoom meeting and take care of it. So it's actually a great thing for a lot of people. Now, for the bigger trials and stuff, obviously, they bring them into the courthouse. But I'm just saying, it's really cool stuff. But back to this for a minute here. I do want to go back and show Ilya's pic again. Guys, I just think that's so cool. It looks like it's dipping into like a big old bowl of cotton candy or something. It really does. It's really, really, really good. I don't know that you're going to see too many like that. And she used her phone here to pick this up. Ilya, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you said you might have been able to catch just a little bit of it with your naked eye. And this is what I tell people. Pull your phone out, even if you think you don't see it. I made that mistake last time during the G5 storm. I'm down here in Indiana and I'm looking north and stuff and I'm not seeing nothing, right? So I didn't pull my phone out or anything. I just assumed it wasn't getting down this far because I've never seen them before. Not with my naked eye. So yeah. And Genius by Bird, thank you again for the gifted memberships yesterday. It's awesome. I get emails every time you guys do that for people saying thank you. I just want you guys to know that. So anyway, we'll leave that at that. But hey, main girl. Hey, Isaac. So cul-de-sac, what's up? Cool. Okay. She says, yes, it was visible with her naked eye. Here, matter of fact, I'll just highlight that. Give me 1 second. I'll pop it up there. Oh, man, my chat's got to catch up on my computer. Give me 1 second, and I'll highlight that on the screen. Come on. It was a bunch of messages there. Come on. Okay. Okay, there it is. So, yeah. So, hopefully that highlight. Show did. So, yeah, she's seen that with her naked eye. And pulled her phone out, and it just made it that more intense, I would imagine. I mean, that's just awe-inspiring to me. It's on my bucket list to see the stuff with my naked eye. I never have. And I really would. I would love to do it. And I will, eventually. Hopefully, before I step out in front of a bus somewhere or something. I'm just kidding, by the way. Trying to have a little fun. Because I don't want to make this too serious, because this is not grid down, okay? It's just not. So, but this is very significant, okay? I don't want to downplay it either. Now, if we have something happen, we get hit with another CME that we weren't really counting on, which is possible. We could get jolted up to G4, maybe even higher again. Those are possibilities, guys. And it just goes back to what I'm saying right here, okay? When you got all this stuff coming at you, when we're in solar max, it is very difficult to get a very, very accurate forecast when you have all of this. I mean, look at that. It's, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go there right now. It irritates me when people think that it should be 100%. Here it is. Yeah, it's 93 million miles away. You try to forecast when it's going to get here. It's not that easy, guys. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So, yeah, guys, I'll be back later on tonight. I just wanted to come out here and give you guys this update. And hopefully you guys will be here. And we will catch you later, Tater. You know what I'm saying? That's what we screaming. Ain't that what the kids say? No, I'm just kidding. I used to hate it when my parents would say that. Anyway, all right, guys. Anybody catches any kind of more like Aurora and stuff, please email them to me. I'll show them every time. Okay? Hey, miss, good to see you, girl. Hey, Kim Possible. Someone somewhere, Ohio. What's up? Arizona. It's okay. It's okay. You can watch again. Gunslinger in the house. I didn't even call it anybody's region, did I? I kind of skipped over that. BlueCool52 at Gmail. Hi, Leah. Let's see here. Cool. Yeah, I was trying to kind of cover everything there, but yeah. Hopefully, and again, guys, I'm trying to stay more focused, and I think I'm doing better. Matter of fact, I think I'm doing a lot better. And you guys are helping me in a way that you're supporting when I do the earlier stream and then I do another one at night. You're coming and watching both, and it makes a huge difference. And that's what's going to make it possible for me to continue to do that. And off of some good advice from a really good friend of mine, the first 30 seconds of a YouTube video are very important. So that's why I don't do that big long intro anymore. Within a video, 2, 3, 4 videos after I got that advice, I seen a clear uptick in how many people were sticking around for longer than 30 seconds because I got rid of that. And people have been asking me to get rid of it for a long time, but others were wanting me to keep it, so I didn't know what to do. So that's what I'm going to do from now on because it just works better. Hey, Butterfly, good to see you. Daryl, what's up? Hey, Main Girl, where you from? Just kidding. You probably get that all the time. Sorry. All right, guys. God bless. I'll be back later on tonight, too, so come back tonight. Hey, Jennifer. Kathy, aloha. Una poco de todo con shalom. What's up? You used to be Miss Hunt. Okay. Cool. Oh, I read that wrong. Never mind. All right. God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-aid. Jim Miller, what's up? Just wanted to say that real quick.